was standing for the Dollar Tree, and basically,
such as this thing here.
all right, I'm excited to have a guest. Metal right here, of course, everyone is. Cuba is like they're under a dictator. RTD Live Talk, Detroit's #1 late night YouTube talk show. We are live for a Wednesday night edition of the People's Talk Show. Excited to be back. Looking forward to connecting. Wanted to make sure I plugged in once more before the night is over with. And want to share with you some interesting stories as well as just talk about the mental framework that a lot of us are familiar with. But I want to get your thoughts as well as share more insight as to how, beyond the current transition away from a singular focused paradigm that's been created around the dollar in the U.S., based upon statements being made by Putin as well as the current restructuring of just the global structure in general, well beyond money, how that's going to cause a lot of uncertainty in the days ahead. But also, it's more important for us to begin to mentally prepare for this transition beyond what we've already done. And I'm curious to get your thoughts on some things as well as share mine. So let's dive in, have some fun, and let's connect. So as always, for those that might be new to the community, welcome. My name is Mike, the host. Let me know where you're watching from. Would definitely love to take a moment to give you a shout out and welcome you to the community. And I want to make sure that for those who might be new, if you're not familiar with the routine around here, want to try to encourage people to click the bell notification. Hopefully you are notified, as well as hit the subscribe button so that you can stay plugged in when videos go up. And that'll be a good way to make sure we stay connected. And as always, I got about 3 or 4 articles here. Won't be long. Just want to connect and then open to the phone lines. We'll love to hear from you guys directly. Number is 313-462-0027. And we'll love to get your voice. So let's acknowledge a couple people, dive into some topics here. And I also want to share with you how my little bit of currency that I got in front of me here, how within the last week, literally, I took a half cut. I took a 50% haircut on my little cash holdings right here. So I'm going to explain more of that. But anyway, we got King D checking in. We have Renee Montenegro checking in as well. We got MW checking in as well. We got T checking in. We got Janine, I'm sorry. How you doing? We got Paul. We got Prepper from the BX. How you doing, my friend? This is getting real scary. It's concerning, not necessarily scary, because scary, conjures up the emotion of fear and uncertainty. Granted, things are changing, but then again, we also have a big role to play in this transition. And a lot of the things I'm going to talk about tonight happens to do with the transition, of our own mindset, given the fact that everything we're experiencing is nothing new to mankind. It's just new to us in this day and era, and the way this transpiring. But it's not really too scary. It's a great opportunity, man. It's a lot of opportunity for people to make a dent in the history books, but like that. What else we got here? We have Brady checking in from Indiana Witches Works. Will Smith checking in. We got Taylor Webb checking in. Good friend. We got Larissa Jackson, Midnight Green, Sheila Lee, Let Freedom Ring 3, Stephen. Appreciate you from the England area. Appreciate you. God is King, 100%. All right, so let's plug in. So before I do that, before I get to the headlines, I want to make sure I'm just trying to clean up things on the back end here, do the best I can to make sure I provide an opportunity for everybody to stay plugged in. So I'm condensing everything down. If you look right beneath this video, if you're on your phone, it's just one simple link. Want to try to condense it down to where it's not hard to find and stay plugged in. So here's just a single link with everything that's important to RTD for now. So in case we are connected, you can have everything in front of you right there. But for those that are new to the channel, I want to make sure I make everyone available of this opportunity here to get your weight up. For those that might be new to the community, if you're interested, definitely a great opportunity to grab 5 ounces, put in your possession. And I'm going to show you why that's really, really important in this current moment. So take advantage of that if you're interested. Also, I want to encourage you guys to connect with me on the RTD Locals. Going to do more streaming there just because, as I mentioned earlier, just having a headache of dealing with stuff on this channel here, but I'm going to do the best I can. And also, if you want to contribute and donate for the program, feel free to do so. All the information is there. And then here's all just the resources. All the resources I put together to give people a chance to stay plugged in and stay informed. So everything you need here, everything free here. We got my little preparedness. We got, if you want to rep the king, I got t-shirts at the store. Get your weight up with some custom made rounds. So everything you need here to stay plugged in can be found here. At the very bottom of this link is all the Discord and Telegram where I wanted you guys to connect, and we can chat throughout the day. I actually have a good time being able to speak to everybody in the community. So appreciate you guys for sharing articles and stuff like that as well. Like a lot of smart individuals share articles. That's where I get all my insights from most of the time. So, okay, let's keep it moving. Let's get right into the main subject line. So I caught this headline here, and it got a little attention, but not much, but definitely needs to get more. So as you guys can see on the screen here, when you hear words like this come out of a person's mouth that's actually putting their foot down to the global establishment and presenting the narrative of pushing back and altering the mainstream narrative, is something you have to acknowledge. Now, where it takes us, only God knows. I mean, of course, from a spiritual standpoint, I know how the book of Revelations ends. I know where this is all heading to, but between now and then, the time frame, nobody knows. But in the meantime, we got to just take what we have and run with it. But one thing I do know, this statement here, Putin declares American world order is ending. A true multipolar world has begun. He's speaking as if, like, in his mind, based upon all the action he's putting forth, it's already done. And if he's speaking with that level of confidence, I think it's well worth our energy to try to understand what exactly is he referring to. And then the biggest question is, how will that impact you? And of course, the primary way that it will impact us is our current role as the number one nation, as far as monetarily speaking, because of our role as a dollar, because our role as having a dollar. And then on the home front here, having the current reserve currency has given us a privilege that is probably the greatest privilege humanity has ever seen, as far as having unlimited credit and the ability to finance the American way of life. The American dream at this current moment, for whatever it's worth, is being held together by credit. And so a part of the education and the financial literacy that comes from all the advisors and all the people in the economics and financial realm talk about making sure you have good credit so that you can sustain yourself, whether it comes to getting your house, your car, whatever you do credit card wise, is all based upon the current role of the dollar. And when Putin talks about a new world, basically just saying that American world order is ending, that means our financial, social, geopolitical, and all the other avenues have also altered in the way he's speaking, as if it's already done. And based upon the steps that he's taken, that I've been documenting for the last, God knows how long, I take him for his word. And ultimately what that means is an alteration in our way of life here in America. And it has a lot to do with the Economist cover referring to the Phoenix burning, which we're witnessing currencies burning right now. And this is something that will come to our doorstep if it hasn't already. And just to give you more for those that might be new, I love putting together visual aids. So nothing is new. It's happened before in history. So here we have just some things I put together throughout the last couple of months. But the changing of the monetary order. And so here we see the alteration of the leading dominant nations and their currencies throughout the last several hundred years. And nothing good lasts forever. And right now we're witnessing a transition away from the Federal Reserve note and a dollar-dominated system into something else. And it looks like the BRICS is going to play a major role in what that is. Russia has been targeted as the primary initiator of it. And of course, I know the East and West ultimately are working together on this, because the current debt model it's reached its peak. There's nowhere to go but to war, currency war, as well as a God forbid, a hot war. But anyway, so I put here 101 years based upon the 1921 to 2022 time frame there, and that's pretty much after the World War I-ish era, and leading up to Bretton Woods and things of that nature in the 30s and 40s. But I put 2023. Between now and next year, we will get another announcement from Putin or the BRICS in reference to what the suggestion they will have for this next order, and the dollar will not be the primary instrument. It's not going nowhere, but it won't have the level of dominance in the world system, in my opinion. And why is that? Just because the dollar, Federal Reserve note, aka the dollar, has ran its course. Biden will be the last president under this current structure of the monetary system. It's just how low can we go is the question. So anyway, back to this quick article. So it says Putin declares American world order is ending. A truly multipolar world has begun. Some key points here. It says Russian President Vladimir Putin calls for an end to the American world order. He said Putin suggests the end of the U.S. being a world power is ending. Go here. Says talks about the war in Ukraine. That's just basically a proxy war just to get this started. They're working hand in hand together on this. And it's quoted here is Putin quoted this. This happened from a conference amongst his own political figures in Russia last week. It just happened to hit the mainstream news now. But it says, quote, they should have realized that they have already lost from the very beginning of our special military operations, Putin said. Its beginning also means the beginning of a radical breakdown of the American world order. It says Putin's comment reference the involvement of the United States is providing support to Ukraine and also placing sanctions on Russia. He says, quote, this is the beginning of the transition from the liberal-globalist. Let me zoom in here. Yep, make sure you guys can see this. It is kind of small. This is the beginning of the transition from the liberal-globalist American egocentrism to a truly multipolar world. That's a lot of some major words right there. He said this is the transition from it. And so in order to transition from something, you have to have something already ready to rock and roll, meaning that there has to be something in place to take over the old if he's talking about being the initiator of this change. And of course, whatever it is, it has something to do with gold, commodities of some kind, in particular gold. But it says Putin said the transition can no longer be stopped. So we're past the point of no return is basically what he's getting at. So take him at his word, do what you want to do with it. But he's basically calling an end to the current dollar-dominated system. Now it's time to talk about what comes after that. And on talking about transition, here we have a interesting article here where it looks like more of the globalist leaders are also talking about changing things. And so here we have from Breitbart, it says Mexican President AMLO lectures Americans reject conservatism and accept transformation. So here we have a relatively communist mindset individual from Mexico, basically telling Americans when he met with Biden, telling Americans to basically, the conservative, the way the framework is being painted right now is conservatives are radicals, people who love their country, people who love protecting themselves and basically maintaining their inalienable rights. They are the holdup. They're what keeping this transition and this transformation into this world order and this build back better agenda. It's what's keeping it from actually progressing the way that they wanted to. So he's just talking about here. And of course, the article is basically saying that Biden basically agreed with him 100%. And he even gave 4 categories. So this is Biden's quote. It says, we have liberals, moderates, conservatives, and extreme conservatives, Biden said. He says, I'm waiting for the Republican Party to come back to the traditional conservative positions. We have to start to talk with them to one another in the country with respect. So there's 4 types of people that this individual just categorize you in. And so the question is, if you fit into one of these, which one are you? And extreme conservatives are also labeled as domestic terrorists. So be careful with what you can, how you might fall under these categories here. So, but once again, this is the president of Mexico talking. It says, it is indispensable for us to regularize and to give certainty to immigrants. So he's basically saying, open up your borders, let Mexicans come in with no problem. So, we got Putin declaring the end of the Western dominated system. And then we got the Mexican president telling people we also have to transform. So change is underway, whether we want it or not. So it's just a matter of what type of change. And will it be led by the people or will it be led by the illusion of the BRICS and the East working towards whatever they want to do, which are all linked back into what the West is going to, do anyway? Or do we just outright go with the United Nations and the Build Back Better and all the other things, without putting up some resistance? Resistance is futile. It's key. Anyway, last little thing here I want to talk about. Just so much news happening. It's hard to keep up with it all. But I just tweeted out a moment ago some developments on what's happening in Chile. And so Chile is another one of my favorite countries. Had a chance to live in and was there a couple years ago, and just looking at how the Chilean peso literally is just literally just fell off the cliff within the last week. And so central banks right now, including the Central Bank of Chile, has as of today increased interest rates almost three-quarters of a point, as well as Canada today. I think it was three-quarters of a point. And it's talks, because of the CPI figures that we're being given, everybody's, three-quarters or damn near a point. And so here's an article real quick. Here's an article just with a subject matter that, we'll see how it plays out. But it says, Fed could entertain a full point rate hike in the wake of inflation scorcher. And so this is after the numbers we were given today. But, we went from a quarter to three-quarters. Now they're talking about a full point. And of course, it's always well behind the curve anyway, but it's just the narrative of fighting inflation. They have to pretend as if they're trying to do something, even though they can't. But it's just, once again, entertaining to see this because it's too late. Game is over. It just hasn't really revealed itself above water just yet. But Uncle Sam is officially flatlined. They're trying to, put up a mannequin to pretend as if he's still around and still matter at this current moment. But that's not the case. But anyway, real quick, before I open the phone lines, I want to share with you. So I was talking about the Chilean peso. So I got some pesos right here. And so I have two sets of pesos. And, each one of them has a story. And I'll share it with you briefly. But it's a real world use case scenario that we all can learn from. Because by me holding these pieces of paper here as a souvenir, I've taken a haircut. I've lost half the purchasing power of these notes. And in fact, if I lived in Chile, then they also took a haircut on holding these pesos within the last last several years, but last week in particular. But so here we got two different sets, if you guys can see it. So here's a set. I'll see if I can get this here. Gonna be kind of hard, but if you guys can see, here's a set. Here's a 5,000 peso, and then here is a 1,000. So they're faded notes, and they're actually the paper units. They're the paper units. And these are 2005. So I've had these since 2005 when I lived in Chile, and I just kept them just for fun. So I was in Chile 3 years ago, and I got these new notes. These are the polymer notes. So same color, paper, polymer, and same patriarchs or whoever they are on the top of them. But 2005, 2019. Yeah, 2019. Yeah. So within this time frame here, these notes, when I first got these notes here, they were the equivalent of dang near $30 worth of purchasing power converted from dollars. Now, today, as of last week, take that and chop it in half off. Take that and chop it off half. So here we got within, and it's come down slightly, but within the last month, the peso went from 8.56 at the bottom all the way got up to 1,000. Actually, it's 1,100 in Chile. I actually got off the phone with one of my friends, and he was saying it's 1,100 even there. And he's saying everything's prices double, gas. I mean, same issues here, but a lot worse. But anyway, so if you just zoom back out, and so here's the moral of the story. So this is 2012. This is further. Let's just go back. So 2012. Let me see. So this note here, what I'll do is I'll make it easier. This note here, which is a 5,000 peso note, was about $11. Just this note was about $11. Now you fast forward to today, that's well over half. That's 55% ish, if I'm not mistaken. Help me with the math, but that's about 55 to maybe 60% total purchasing power lost within. This is a 10-year time frame here. But last time I got this note, it was 600 and something. So for me, it's been 45% loss of purchasing power. So just these notes here, I got 6,000 right here. So this 6,000 used to be well over $11 or so. Now it's half that. It's about $6.50. So the thing is, if the longer I keep these, the more I lose. But once again, I kept these just because I knew that they were just, for me, they're souvenirs. And that's why, me being in the educational realm, knowing the dangers of fiat currencies in general, I have a fairly large collection of fiat currencies from all the places I've been, just because I know that at some point these are going to be, museum pieces, and I want to have me a nice little set. But I'm trying to real quick show you just real quick, and then I'll start open the phone lines because I have more stories to talk about. But let me real quick. I want to just grab this. Because for those that know, I love visual aids and I try to use props whenever I can. So I posted these pictures in the Telegram. So I'll put this up on the screen real quick. Bear with me. So yeah, you can see right there. Okay. So as you guys can see here, this top photo here. This top photo here is the was it 13, 14, 13-year-old note. Paper is all faded, dying, or whatever, but it's just there. And then here's the more polymer, the one with the clear plastic, whatever. So same lady, 10, 12 years apart, 50% less purchasing power. So at the end of the day, my point was, here is the peso to gold. So if you would have kept pesos in paper form, you would have lost. But if you would have converted some of those papers to gold, you would be at all-time high right now, 1.7 million pesos for an ounce of gold. So within the last year, you went from a 1.3 to 1.7 that fast. So long story short, when stuff hit the fan, a lot of people on Twitter love saying, Mike, gold ain't as strong as it used to be. I'm like, you're looking at it from the wrong viewpoint. You're looking at gold and silver as if like you're measuring it against the dollar. That's the wrong way to have. That's the wrong way to view it in this current era that we're transitioning to, because gold, from an institutional standpoint and a central bank standpoint, it is the measuring stick. It's the anchor. It's the foundation. Everything above that is built on top of it. So you measure everything in the real world against what has been historically proven monetary instrument, which is gold. So looking at it from that standpoint, pricing your financial future in ounces is a starter. But then whatever you measure in the real world, also measure it by how many ounces would it have cost you 10 years ago? How many ounces today? How many ounces tomorrow? And because of the manipulation of the metals, it will fluctuate. But then again, there will be a breaking. The decoupling, the final decoupling will come soon when, and this is just my opinion, when the silver price, which is what's at 18, 90, whatever. Let me see. Whatever the silver price is. Real quick, I'm ranting, but because it's entertaining, man. It's real entertaining to see how people, and a lot of people who come at me from that standpoint, they're maximalists, they're fundamentalists for crypto. So they have to go along with, everything's tanking, but not everything is the same. That's the point. Like, it's one thing but having nothing but computer code in your phone or in your ledger or something like that, rather than having something real in your hand. So it's a big difference. Having something in the real world gives it a whole nother level of seriousness, because it's still something I can put into your hands if it come down to it, for us to be able to function, do business. Whereas with the computer code thing, it's solely a trust game. And what does it look like on the spot price on whatever the screen is? Anyway, so real thing. So gold is 1730, and this is priced in dollars. And this is very deceiving, because the Dixie is so strong right now, and it doesn't do justice to all the other fiat currencies, i.e. Chile and peso. Right now, the emerging market economies, because the dollar is so strong, it's completely demolishing the other fiat currencies. Now price those currencies in gold, and all those currencies are at all-time highs in gold terms. That's something to keep in mind. Anyway, $19 for gold, $17 for gold, 70,000 for gold, 1,700 for gold, $19 for silver. Right. If gold and silver is our measuring sticks, price and weigh everything in it, not the other way around. All right, so that's enough of me ranting. Let's open the phone lines real quick. Let's talk. Feel free to give me a call. As always, want to make sure I give everybody a chance to let their voice be heard. Won't be much longer. Just want to check in for a quick minute. I had a lot to get off my chest, and we can make it work. So give me a call real quick, 313-462-0027, or let me know in the chat what's on your radar. Lots of things out here happening. It's too much stuff for me to cover. That's why I won't even try. I'm just going to focus on whatever jumps out to me. And that's why I rely upon you, the community, to chime in via the phone calls and also connect on the socials so that you can drop stuff and share thoughts and ideas with people, because that's how we all stay plugged in. Pesos, I got them. Oh yeah, I got so many currencies, and I that's why I enjoy going on here, the currency exchange rate, and just assessing where they're at in standard, compared to the dollar, knowing that that's going to change. Because how do we price our financial futures beyond dollars? We have to use it in metals. All right, let's get a call. Hello, caller. Where we calling from?
Mike, still blood pressure, Corpus Christi. How's it going?
LBP, doing good, my man. Give me a quick thought. What's in your mind?
Oh man, I love the Fed, Mike. Everybody's hating on it. They destroyed the dollar for us. Let's cheer on for them. Let's cheer them on. Come on.
Say it one more time. It was kind of low.
I said, let's cheer on the Fed, Mike. They're destroying the dollar for us. They're doing us a favor.
Yeah, that sounds good in theory, man. But along with that comes a whole new way of life. So, I'm not cheering them on. I'm okay with the way things are now, because when they change, they will never be the same. So, yeah, it's no turning back. But I'm not in a rush like you, LBP. I got too much to lose just to go this transition. What's up?
You're not gonna lose anything, Mike. We're gonna gain. It's gonna be wonderful.
Okay, I'll take that road, sure. Even though I have, thoughts that would challenge that, but I'll live with that.
The man upstairs got your back anyway, so we ain't gotta worry.
I hear you, man. What else going on with you?
Not much, Mike. Just fishing, living the life right now.
Oh man, well, hey, appreciate your call in, my friend.
All right, Mike. Hey, man, come down here. I'm telling you, man.
Hey, man, if schedule permitted and family matters allowed it, I definitely would. I would be on the road more often as I could, man. But it's hard juggling multiple things at one time on my side. But I appreciate it, man. Hey, believe me, if I ever pop up down there, I'm definitely hit you up.
All right, Mike. You can even call me breakfast taco if you want. All right.
All right, bad. Good deal.
All right, bye, Mike.
Yeah. All right. I appreciate it, LBP, man. All right. Let's talk. What else we got here? Jay said, let me see. I saw some. King says, Mike, how's that half? Seems to me like 1/8 drop in value. I'm assuming you're referring to the peso. Let me know from what point to what. And so what I was referring to is the 2005 notes, when they were exchange rate was, I think it was, I got these at 500 to 1, and now they're over 1,000. So that's the half right there, if I'm not mistaken. Let me know. My math could be completely wrong. What else we got? Delivering on the math this tomorrow. Who may be a load extra one? What we talk about here? What we got here? Feel free to throw out some thought. A multipolar world will inevitably lead to true globalism. Yeah. And so in this multipolar world, I believe no matter what, it's going to lead to a one world government. Like, that's still the final outcome of this. Like, and this is where you could try to, go against the grain, not want to touch on the spiritual matters, but all the activities happening now is to break down walls, to break down barriers, to break down sovereignty of nations. The West and the democracy narrative has been the prevailing school of thought for the last 100 years, because it's helped fuel the dollar dominance as well as the petrodollar system. The Federal Reserve and the U.S. government wouldn't have been able to go around enslaving the world with debt, i.e. through the SWIFT system and the Federal Reserve note, had they not talked about we need to go free countries from the dictators, Iraq, Saddam, and all these people, and promote democracy. So democracy's been the cover-up for the dollar dominance. And now the democracy, even in their own eyes, is failing. So they're trying to now shift gears and talk about we need to recapitalize and rebuild. And how they're rebuilding is with public-private partnerships, PPP. So the whole World Economic Forum, government collaborating with private corporations, are now working together to basically be the primary, technocracy, or you name it, whatever the form of governance that will be. But then again, governments and countries will all come together in agreement within the nations of Europe. Somehow, some way, after Europe collapses, there's going to be the rise up of a all-knowing, wise leader, i.e. the Antichrist, and then there's going to be the leadership shuffle. But then again, the Antichrist will rise up out of the European region somehow, some way, be the know-it-all. The world will flock to him, and so this is where it's going. And at that time, one world currents. I mean, so all that biblical prophecies are playing out in real time. Whether you want to believe or not, it's okay. Well, you'll find out. In my opinion, you know what I'm saying? Just not to be a jerk about it. Communism, right? 100%. We at the bottom for silver, I think. Buy signals green. Roger. And this is my opinion, man. And this is why I love just, I'm still a lot of the crypto community, they quiet right now on Twitter. I'm putting out, stuff to challenge narrative. They quiet right now. Everybody, because it's emotions involved, and emotions right now are low because of fear and doubt. Because even the mainstream news talking about maybe is this the bottom? The bottom. When the mainstream news is excited about predicting the bottom, that's when I know we ain't seen nothing yet. And so the reason I say that it's hard to talk about, what's the bottom, because everything we're experiencing, this is just my opinion, everything we're experiencing is all predicated on this global transition out of the old and into the new. In order to fully pull off the greatest heist in humanity by making sure that you own nothing and you're able to find happiness with what they give you, that means that we ain't seen nothing yet as far as the total amount of devastation and destruction they're going to throw at us. And it has to do with real world necessities, like cutting off supply chains, starving people, forcing people to run to the government for help because of desperate times, and being able to take whatever they give you with all the passports, the IDs, and the CBDC. And all. So until, and that's where I would like to be optimistic and say, no, we're the people, we're going to win. But then again, as I say, biblically speaking, whether it's in the next 2 or 3 years, because mankind is short-sighted, we only see what our understanding can give us, revelation of. But yet, this is, as I always say, it's going to be a 10-year long drawn-out process. And so we talking about next year or the year after that, CBDCs, presidential election 2024. I'm saying in 2030, robotics, automation, AI, machine learning, Internet of Things, transhumanistic agendas, all that stuff will be complete. Like it's not going to stop. And it's kind of like, in a sense, I'm not sure if I'm giving the enemy, Satan, too much credit for this, but he has a part to play in this as well. So whether I like it or not, it doesn't matter. I know these things must transpire just because biblical prophecy must be fulfilled. Now, in the midst of all that, this is where, as believers in Christ, we have the capabilities of being in the world, but not of it, in reference to how we respond to things around us. And so that's why I think it's really important, like never before, to make sure you get your spiritual game up, get your faith up, because you're going to be tested no matter what. Every single person's tuned in right now. You will be confronted with some very tough decisions, if you haven't already, coming up real soon. And this is not to scare nobody, but this is just real talk. This is the time we're in. If you discern the times, you'll know what's at stake here. And it's not about money. This is not about, it's not about the trivial things that we focus on now. It's more so, this is about the human soul. This is a war in the spirit realm for global dominance between Jesus Christ as king and Lucifer as the fallen, unemployed cherub, and angel. And then in between, humanity's at play right now. There's the children of God, the children of Satan at war. All the demonic influences at work right now in the political realm, the monetary and entertainment realm, they're the ones that's trying to execute Satan's agenda. We, or me, and whoever out there is a believer in Christ, we also have a job. We have to execute our Father's game plan as well, which is to give people the chance to accept Jesus Christ, to be born anew. So being born again from a spiritual standpoint, having a Holy Spirit inside of you gives you it gives you a lot of opportunity, put it like that. Spiritual guidance, divine guidance, you name it. Anyway, but you get my drift here. So a lot of, it's two ways of thinking, spiritual and carnal. Let's try to use both in balance, because we can get caught up talking about numbers, gold and silver. I'm telling you, and then I'm in Revelations right now. I'm heavy in Revelations right now, and studying the Antichrist and things like that. And the more information is given, the more it helps me to recognize the signs of the times. And I'm not saying right now is right now, but it's in our future. And so I'm just witnessing the enemy work right now, and it's becoming obvious. Like you can't deny that Satan is busy right now. Just look at the craziness happening in the world. I'm seeing stuff I would have never imagined seeing. Man, okay, I can't even talk about it, but put it like this: when they got kids taking field trips to strip joints and to got transgender guys coming to schools and dancing for kids, like in what world does that have anything to do with God, righteousness, truth? Nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like we already turned upside down. Anyway, I can go on tangent, but I'm not. So anyway, with that being the case, that's all I show up for today. Wanted to plug in, wanted to just share some thoughts with you, but this is the world we're in. It's exciting time because this has never been a greater opportunity for people to put your faith, literally, wear your faith. The Bible says, put on Christ, because you're gonna have to put them on, because you're gonna need them if you haven't yet caught on them already. So anyway, man, I just man, it's a lot of work to be done. As I said before, the fields are ripe. We just need some laborers. So hopefully you guys are fired up and want to make a difference for the kingdom, because there is great reward now and in life to come. So anyway, people, Ariel says Lucifer doesn't exist, Satan does. Whatever name you want to give him, that's fine. It's the enemy. Just like this, just say the enemy. The enemy has a game plan. And that's the thing. As long as we all can agree that there is an enemy at work here, and that enemy wants you as well, how do you combat that enemy is a question. How do you not fall into the grips of that enemy? Should be something that's worth talking about as well, because there's good, there's bad, there's there's an opposite for everything. And so if the enemy's out here working, hopefully we are working as well. So just by merely sharing your faith and pointing it to the source, the king that lives inside of you, what I'm saying, you're working, because if you can touch the right person at the right time, you can save a soul. That's what it's all about, saving souls. All right. It says Lucifer as applied to Satan was from Pope Gregory. Are you a Catholic? I'm not. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, look, spiritual discernment. Everybody's at a different place. It's not a right or wrong. I mean, I'm not here to, let everybody, do what they got to do. But just to say, let's just say the enemy. Ain't no point in arguing over his name. Let's just admit that he's a defeated foe. Put it like that. Anyway, I'm having fun. I only on YouTube, I guess. I'm out. Ed, oh yeah, Ed. So I saw your comment about the what you call it, the RT local. So yeah, so it's just my prediction that within the next 12 months or so, this channel may not be available. And so the best thing for me to do is get ahead of that. And so that's why I've gone over to a private server, and private servers cost money. And so in order to have that fully operational and to be able to grow a business, as well as keep the community together, it costs, and I can't cover the cost. And so part of the monthly subscription is 33 cents a day, type of is $10 a month for those who want to support. You can actually participate, but you can watch for free, but participating in support is what that's all about. So it's the best option that I think that is. It buys time. That's all. It buys time. It's not guaranteed. It's just something that buys time that's available for those that want to. But no, Ed, I appreciate your support. You've been there before, buddy. So I know you get down with me. So I appreciate you. Anyway, I don't want to keep you any longer, but be blessed, be safe, people, and back at it tomorrow, Lord willing. Peace.